Hey guys, I just wanted to quickly go over a motion capture retargeting setup that I was trying to work on here lately, and just kind of get your opinions on how I could improve it possibly, or make it a little bit smoother. Right now, it's got some issues. If I go ahead and turn it on, I'll show you what we're working with here. So basically, I just take this script, and all it's doing is it's going through and finding all the pads or all the transform nodes with the name mocap pad. That was just something I created myself, and it's changing the weight of the constraint that's bound to it based off of whatever I'm telling it here. So if I make it 0, now the motion capture system's off, and now the motion capture's on. So we got it on, and we'll just set it over here to the example. And so we can see that Barry here is over here following the mocap skeleton that I have set up. Unfortunately, it's got some work to do. I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting, but what you can see here is we still have pretty good control over the rig while it's still following the motion capture system. So I can change things around and fix it just to kind of better fit what I'm working with here. So yeah, you can definitely tell that there's some issues in the neck, I'm sure there, and several more, but I'm gonna keep those secret. You'll see them. But it works fairly well. One of the issues I have with it though is with the FK controls, the padding system, which I'll actually show you here before I get too deep into it. So we'll just go find one here. Alright, so the mocap neck. So this is the one we'll look at. So basically all we're doing is we're doing a pad over top of the normal control here. And with that, now the parent constraint is what is being drove by the motion capture skeleton. The skeleton is actually completely different from the one being the deformation skeleton that I got. Oh, that's ugly. I do not like touching that, but we'll move that into none. And then move it. So I got some IKs in the neck that do not like the system so far, and I'm going to have to figure out why they're flipping. Wish I didn't use that example, but oh well. So I'm basically just using these as a driver for my controls. Um, so this is a pretty tedious system to set up. I scripted out some parts to make it run a little smoother, as you saw here with that script. There's also this one that I did, and this is another really simple script. All this one's doing is when you create the pads, just name it correctly, and oh man, this is the wrong one. Okay, I'm terrible. All right. There we go. Now we're on the right one. So this script just goes through and it does the exact same thing, but it just does the parent constraints forward. So as long as you name, so you basically just go through and pad each control in your system and run this script, and as long as the pads over top of the control are named mocap pad, it'll go ahead and do a parent constraint on it. So that kind of took out some of the issues with setting it up. However, it's still like to know your thoughts on how to improve something like the FK controls, for example, here. So since it's a hierarchy system, you can tell that it doesn't quite move the way you'd like in that setup. And we'll go turn on the deformation skeleton here real quick so you can kind of see what's going on. So when I move that, it's just keeping that joint following there. So since that parent constraint's locking that down, it's no longer listening to that first constraint. So what I need to figure out still is how to make it so that this will follow correctly. And after that, I think it should be running pretty good for the most part, but the motion capture skeleton still can use some finessing to get it a little bit smoother, but that's what I got so far. Love to hear your thoughts on this process and if you think it's practical or if I should try something different. Thanks for your time for those who watched this video, and have a good day.